Hello everyone, and welcome to a quick video on absolute value. Well, what is absolute value? Absolute value is distance. That's pretty much it. So let's say you wake up in the morning and you wake up, you stretch, you get out of bed, okay, yada yada. You get up and now it's time to go to work, yeah? So you're going to go ahead and you're going to walk to work. Now let's say you walk 5 miles to work, yeah? Well, absolute value is distance. The absolute value of what you just walked is 5. You walked 5 miles. The distance you walked is 5. That's your absolute value. Now let's say it's the end of the day. You get out of work. You're super tired. But you're like, no, I'm going to walk home. I'm not going to take a taxi or anything. I'm going to be healthy. So you go ahead and you walk all the way home. Well, you walked 5 miles. Now technically, you're walking backwards. So technically, I mean, the first 5 miles that you walked were positive because you were going to the right. Yeah? And the last 5 miles that you walked are kind of negative because you're walking back to the left, but that doesn't matter. If you want to know the absolute value of how much you walked, well, you still walked 5 miles. It doesn't matter if it was going back. Your absolute value is going to be 5. The distance you traveled is 5 on that walk back. That's pretty much the basics of absolute value. So how this would look on the number line. So let's say that you're starting at 0, right? And let's say you went up by 7. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, you just went up by 7. Your absolute value, the distance you traveled, is 7. That's pretty much it. That's how easy it is. Now, in red, let's imagine that instead of walking to the right by 7, you went back by 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah? And you went back negative 13. Well, you went backwards negative 13, but that doesn't matter. You still traveled 13 steps. So the absolute value for this red is 13. Notice, absolute value is always the distance you traveled. And as I'm sure you're noticing so far, absolute value in both these cases is a positive number. The absolute value in both these cases is a positive number. You can't talk about distance as a negative. It has to be a positive number. You walked 13 steps. It doesn't matter what direction they were in. You walked 13. Your absolute value is positive. Now, when it comes to the notation for absolute value, it's super simple. Yeah? So let's say I'm saying, hey, find me the absolute value of 3 over 4. The notation is just going to be 2 bars on either side of it. That's it. Let's say I'm saying, hey, find me the absolute value of negative 3. Well, the notation is going to be 2 bars. That's your value, absolute value notation. It's just any number with 2 bars on either side of it. Could be a simple number too. Could be 17. Just 2 bars on the other side of it. On 1 bar on each side of it. That's your notation for absolute value. Now, one comparison I like to use for how absolute value works, think of a washing machine. A washing machine is real simple. Whatever clothes you have that you put into a washing machine come out clean. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Think of the washing machine as your absolute value signs. So let's say that I give you 9. Now you put 9 inside the absolute value signs and it's going to come out clean. It's going to come out positive. Yeah? It doesn't matter how it went in. It's just always going to come out positive. That's how a washing machine works. It always comes out clean. So the absolute value of 9 is just going to be 9. The same number, but positive always. Yeah? So you started with a 9, you ended up with a 9. Okay. Now that was the absolute value of 9. Let's say we have the absolute value of 13. So if you want the absolute value of 13, boom, it's going to be the same number, but positive, 13. Let's say now that you have the absolute value of negative 3. Well, the absolute value of negative 3, remember, it's in the washing machine. So the answer is just going to be 3. It comes out positive. It comes out clean. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Let's try, I don't know, let's try a fraction. 4 over 5. Negative 4 over 5. Negative 4 over 5. Well, the absolute value of negative 4 over 5, it's just basically the same number, but clean. It's positive. So the absolute value of negative 4 over 5 is 4 over 5. That's how easy it is. Go ahead and take this as an example and try and solve these examples for yourself. They're super simple. Pause the video, try and work it out. Okay, so let's go ahead and review. In each one of these cases, they're asking for the absolute value of a number, and that absolute value will be the same number but positive. So the absolute value of 5 is 5. It stays positive. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7. Same number but positive. The absolute value of negative 14, 14. Same number but positive. And finally, the absolute value of 9, stayed positive. It's 9. That's pretty much it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video helped.